Who comes up? Bam, we're live. Maybe it's me. Maybe bam, we're late. Yeah. $5 for being late. I'll take it.
Should be late more often.
Yeah. Jay Crouch, Rob Forte, Brian Friend. I sent them the link like 30 seconds ago. It's not their fault they're not here. That's all 100% on me. The podcast supposed to be at 6 o'clock today, and I was screwing around. I moved it to 6:15. Damn, look how big Rob's head is.
Lads.
Rob, I was thinking.
I need to get
Uh-oh. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I was just admiring the size of your head compared to Jay's.
I need to move back.
No.
Okay.
Stay. Oh, you think if you move back, it'll look small? Oh, yeah. Perspective. What are you, an artist or something? You know that shit? Oh, our connection is ass. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Are you guys in Australia? What the fuck is going on? This is never going to work. Where are you? Oh, it's so bad. The delay. I feel like I'm talking like my relatives in Beirut when I was like 6 years old. Go stand next to the router or something. Okay, try, please. Or maybe get off Wi-Fi and use cellular. I don't know. God, I don't know if I've ever talked to Rob. I was always kind of scared of you. I was thinking like we have talked.
Yeah. We've chatted at the games, behind the scenes stuff.
When YouTube gets this video, they're gonna put. Okay, they're gonna put in so many ads because every time there's silence, YouTube puts in an ad. That's what happens. That's how they do that. I'm gonna have to go in there and erase them all. Rob, I was thinking that you're kind of Yanikoski is like the new Rob Forte, huh? Am I even close in saying that?
Is that better?
Oh yeah, much better.
Okay. We're on Jay's phone now, so.
And what, you were on a computer before?
Oh, we're just connected to the Wi-Fi at the gym.
Oh, okay. Who's in the room with you?
Some weird guy. That's my business partner. I'll tell him to shut up. I'll shut up. Andrea, shut up.
Nah, he can talk. He can talk. Hey, Rob, are you the Yanikoski, or is Yanikoski the new Rob Forte?
Yanikoski.
Yeah, the guy from Finland. Like, he wins all the swim events, and people have hope that he's going to win the games, but he just can't.
Did you win? I never won a swim event, but anyway.
What? But oh, you weren't this. What did you win? There was some event. There was some. Oh, bro, thank God you're here, Brian.
Yeah, it was the running.
Running.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
You were the runner. Damn.
You don't remember because the only thing anyone remembers about that workout is Rich walking. But yeah, Rob, I think we actually passed a couple guys on the run.
Hey, I was trying to act like I know shit about CrossFit, Brian. I go, hey, is Yanikoski the new Rob Forte? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, you guys both won all the swim events, but you had no chance of winning the games. But he's like, nah, I didn't win swim events. I was like, fuck, we're off to a bad start.
Yeah. I tried, but I didn't succeed. That was Khan. Khan was really good when I was competing. He'd always do well in those swim events.
I want to show you a video that I saw of Jay. It was posted a couple days ago. Yeah, Jay, I'm about to fuck you up. Caleb, will you play that YouTube video? Just a little bit of that in the beginning, maybe. He was on Alex Tyson's podcast. It maybe play like the first 30 seconds here. Listen to this crazy shit.
Trust that, you're good overall. And
you might have to rewind it a little bit. Sorry, where are we? Oh, no, here we go. Okay, here we go. Sorry. No, you're good.
Just got to trust that, you're good overall. And if you give your best effort in each event, you're going to come out in a good spot.
Oh, no, fast forward a little more. Sorry, fast forward a little more.
Hey, Crouch, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Okay, here we go.
First time we met, I stood next to you and I just fasted for 21 days.
Okay,
and
here
you
it
were
comes.
a few weeks out from going to the fittest man in the world competition, the CrossFit Games.
Okay, fast forward a little more.
You were huge, which is nice. Tell me about what it's like going to the other side of the world in America to compete with some of the fittest people in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like,
Here we go.
growing up in the sport, you know, you watch these guys compete, look up to them, all that sort of stuff, and then you finally get there, and it's
Here we go.
It's really cool. So,
Here it comes.
I suppose. Oh, can we start again?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I was thinking about what I already said.
You text me the other day and say, me and Rob are coming on your podcast. I do a little research. This is big time. I do a little research from 2 weeks ago. You can't even fucking get your tongue out of your mouth and you want to go big time with me and Brian? Who the fuck you think you are?
We can't restart a live, huh?
What? Say it again?
We can't restart a live stream.
No.
Absolutely set me up there.
I can't
Ladies and
believe
gentlemen, Jay Crouch, winner of the Taurean Pro this year, same age as Justin Medeiros, the champ. Dude, everyone's like crazy impressed. Rob, are you impressed?
Very impressed. I've been impressed when I saw him for the first time. I think when he was 16 or 15, we did a development squad. It was him and two others. They were real standouts in the group. And then he came to my gym when he was 17, and he's just been improving at a crazy rate ever since.
Third place, second place, fourth place, third place, first place, fourth place, and Royce Dunn didn't make it,
No, he's not.
which is nuts. Who took second? Yeah, look at those people.
There's a lot of good guys out there. Women too.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
the women's side is crazy.
Jay, did you keep your head in the game the whole time? Were there any dips?
Yeah, no, it was solid all weekend. Like the big focus was just running my own race and, you know, not having any expectations going in. And it was really solid all weekend.
And the main reason for that is in the past, every event we've kind of both said it is like, he's going to do really well. This is his thing. And he goes out way too hot and kind of hits a wall. So we're like, all right, we're going to dial that back a little. Even though it's a strong suit, we need to still hit a strategy. The one that we were kind of both didn't really talk much about was the strongman Diane one. That was kind of his one to win, but we didn't want to say that. It's like, just go out, do it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And he won it. So it was definitely a different approach to last season and what we've previously done.
When you say that you didn't want to say it, did you guys both hold back and then afterwards be like, I knew you were going to win that? And then you're like, I knew I was going to win that. Is it like that?
Yeah, like we went out for breakfast even the Sunday morning of it, like we were both avoiding saying it. And I was like, did it, and we're like, okay, sweet. We both knew it was going to happen.
Even
Can you?
his dad saying, you better win this one. My dad's telling me you better win this one. I'm like, shut up. We're just going to go out there and do our best.
It is
Caleb,
crazy, though. You know,
Will you pull that up again, Caleb? The leaderboard. Go ahead, Brian.
When there's certain athletes that when they see certain workouts, they know that, like, yeah, I have a chance to win this one, or I should really win this one. And I'm not talking about doing well. I'm talking about like winning. This happened at the MAC this last week, where I talked to a couple athletes after the fact, and they're like, yeah, like we knew that was when I could win.
Yeah. And that's what, like, last year at the Taurean Pro, the best, like, going in, the workout that I thought was going to be my best was my worst. So that's where we sort of went off.
Yeah, he attacked it a little bit too hard. It was a little bit too fired up, and it just didn't pan out in the last round and people passing. So it's just a little bit more relaxed approach, a little bit more methodical, and it pays off. Just depends on the event, really. But yeah.
What are the movements? Can you open up that workout? What were the movements? How did you know you were going to do so well, let alone win?
It was like, I've always loved handstand push-ups, and the deficit was always going to be good for me as well. And it was just being smart on breaking them up and not falling apart. So, and I mean, I like the strongman stuff as well. But yeah.
Yeah, the separator was the deficit handstand push-ups, and for some people it was the last yoke carry. There was people that got there early, like Matt McLeod, but couldn't move the weight too well. So Matt was actually ahead of Jay, but Jay passed him on that last yoke carry. So yeah, apart from Matt, he was second best at the handstand push-ups, but overall in this workout with the yoke carry in there, he was able to pass Matt at the end.
Yeah, what happened with McLeod there? We were trying to figure out from watching if that was an equipment like missizing or.
Yeah, I think he had the yoke set up a little bit too low, and the bottom just kept hitting the ground. And I did hear you guys asking whether it was set the same for everyone. It wasn't. The athletes got to set it up and choose what height they wanted. I think he just made a mistake there.
And when you do that, when you go out there to set it, Jay, does Rob come out with you, or do you recognize that exact same yoke, or how do you know?
No, in the warm-up area, we set it up and they wrote it down on what
okay.
we're going to set it on out there.
Okay, so you don't actually do it. They measure you, and then someone sets yours to whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, we'll just made sure he counted the holes that are exposed above the bar, so he could double check that it was set at the right height when he walked out onto the floor. So there was 8 holes showing. He counted 8 holes, so it's good to go.
So that's veteran shit, right, Jay? Like if you don't have a coach, you just like trust the people who are setting up the equipment, but Rob's like, dude, still count the holes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I was like, don't trust anyone to count anything. You make sure you keep count with everything all the time, so you know, because that's something you can dispute is the counting. So you just make sure that you are on top of all that stuff, so you don't leave it up to someone that loses concentration for a second.
2020. I'm just showing off for Brian. 2020, you took 18th place in the and it was virtual. Yeah. You were a better athlete going into 2021, but you only took 22nd place.
Yeah.
Is that a kick in the balls, or go ahead, Brian? Go ahead.
The field was significantly better.
Don't take the weight off his shoulders, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
He got to do it at home. His mum and dad were there. They got to hold his hand.
Tell me about the difference. I mean, there's two questions here. Tell me about the difference, and are you better? Was 2021 Crouch better than 2020, and is 22 even better? Because what's basically happening is we're seeing this whole field of youngsters come in. I don't know if it was Sprague told us or Dallin, but someone this past weekend says it's here. Oh, I don't remember, but someone said, hey, it's here. The wave that people have thought about and talked about, it's like finally here. And I think that you showed that at the Taurean. You're handling your business down there. So what's going on with you in respect to these 3 years?
Yeah, compared to last year, obviously the stress of traveling with COVID, making the leap from Australia as well, and not having Rob by my side, was a pretty dialed team when we're together. But honestly, technically my first year in person at the games as an individual. So it was almost felt like my rookie year too. So yeah, I feel like this year with the less stress of all the COVID stuff and travel and having my normal team by my side, I feel like I'll be able to put the pieces together.
What will you change about the travel?
Oh, it'll just, less expensive. No, not as hectic with it being new with COVID testing, the quarantine on the way home, and the financial sort of side of it too.
And when will you come? Will you come way early?
Probably about 10 days.
No, and there'll be no jet lag when day one starts? No. Because that's brutal.
Yeah, it is.
And those UFC fighters don't get, I know you follow the UFC pretty close too. Those UFC fighters don't get much time. They just get a couple days.
They're crazy. Yeah, they leave it really close.
Jay, how many people will come with you for the games this year?
My mum, dad, brother, and Rob. So 4.
Do you have any other athletes,
Wait,
Rob?
not Mad?
Nah, Maddie's gonna look after the dogs and hold down the fort this time.
Hey, she's got LCQ.
Oh yeah, that's true. Can't count her out.
Oh, that's right. I was pretty impressed with her actually at Taurean.
Yeah,
I think she may have even surprised herself.
Yeah, she did, definitely. I'd say that was the best she's ever performed at that stage. She was solid across the board. Even that last day, like, she shouldn't have beaten the two girls, Jamie and Ali, in those two events, but she did with a better strategy, and she just performed so much better. And I think each day she gained more and more confidence and more belief, and you could see that out on the floor. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she goes in LCQ. To only miss out by 4 points, which is it had to be 2 positions, because if they were tied, the count back would have gone to Ali. But it was just one event, a little bit of mistake, and which is the second one, the legless rope climb one. Tia and Maddie lapped the whole field in that heat, so they'd lap third. She went a little bit too early on her last rope climb and just missed by like a quarter of an inch, some millimeters. She just needed to take 10 seconds before jumping up. That's all it was. But then her judge made her do 11 rounds, so she had to do an extra round. But they resolved that and fixed all that issue. Wow. But she went from a potential 2nd to 7th in that event. But that's all it was. That was literally one mistake. It was a fairly big mistake that affected the end result.
It's been pretty crazy. There have been a lot of really, really close competitions. I don't know if anyone knows this, but everyone knows that Kelly Clark missed by 1 point this last week. But she was it was a half a second in the legless rope climb workout behind another woman. Half a second faster, and she makes it. Like, that's the margin sometimes.
Yeah. Tell me what happened again with Maddie there. She on one of her rope climbs, she missed the top.
Yeah, and then
she got a no rep, and if she would have actually which and it was the 10th round.
Yeah, it was the 10th round. So she got a no rep, stood there, went back up, and then she got to the other end. And I was trying to yell out saying you're done, but her judge is like, you're going back. So she did an 11th round.
Yeah, and she missed out on that little bit extra time, like sprinting to the finish line too. But she thought that she was on her second last round, but she was actually done.
So they did take off her 11th round, but she lost the seconds from sprinting, thinking it was her.
Yeah,
I
argued that point that, if she knew it was her last round, she'd sprint to the finish. It's not like she would take that long to get across the line, but I don't think it affected the result. The next person wasn't close enough to for her to drop another position or gain another position. So I think the way they fixed it was fine. It didn't affect the overall result. It was more just that mistake on that 10th round of just not listening to your body and not, taking that 10 seconds before jumping up, because even if she took 20 seconds, it might have been a 3rd position instead of a 7th. But that's part of learning. You got to experience those things to then carry it onto the next competition. Like, it's just a whole process of learning and adjusting. But that's what I told her. I'm like, let's learn from that and carry that over to the next workout, or the rest of the weekend. The one that you're probably going to have to carry that over to is the strongman Diane with the handstand push-ups. Run your own race, listen to your body, go when you can go and not fail reps. And she executed that one perfectly.
Did you see her finishes? Pull that up. Sorry, Caleb, one more time. I wonder if there was any other region, any other semifinal where someone with those finishes didn't qualify. 5th, 7th, 5th, 7th, 4th, 3rd.
Well, it depends on the how many qualifying spots there are. Like, it's possible that the person second in Africa has finishes like that, but they finish second. They just only get one spot. And likewise, her positions there might be more relative of a 4th or 5th place finisher, or maybe even a 3rd place finisher in North America.
Yeah, it's crazy. Brian, is this just like screaming at you what you've been saying for the last couple of years when you see someone who performs like Madeline?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't think I need to say it much anymore. The numbers in the competition speak for themselves, and Australia used to have five spots, or Oceania or Pacific, whatever it was called, used to have 5 spots to the games. And I understand that they've given some to Asia, and so there's still 5. But look at the relative attendance and performance of the athletes from what's now Oceania compared to Asia, and tell me that that we shouldn't have at least 4 spots for both the men and women in Oceania. 2 of the 3 guys that made the games from Oceania last year finished in the top 20, and it seems pretty probable. Like I would bet on all 6 making it into the top 20 this year, 3 men and 3 women.
Rob, how close is Jay to the glass ceiling? Is he going to get better? Are we going to see some really crazy stuff?
He surprises me every year. Like through the off season, I was at a stage where I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's get your ass into gear. We need to kind of get moving. And then a few weeks later, he's just doing so much better than I thought he would. I'm like, okay, I'll shut up. What he's doing is working. So he doesn't train super high volume. We focus more on intensity and moving well and all those sorts of things, and not just trying to absolutely smash it. That works well for him. Like each year he's just getting stronger and better. You can see it in his results are a little bit more consistent. The lifting, whenever a lifting event would come up, he's like, oh, got to try and keep up with the strong boys. So I'm like, you're now a strong boy, so you don't have to try and keep up anymore. So there's a lot of things that he's doing that he hasn't done before. But our approach this year is going to be a little bit more chill, a little bit more go out there, maximize the points, do your best. It's not go out there and try and win every event, because I think it just doesn't work. You put extra pressure on yourself. I tell him, like, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. As soon as you start the event, you're like, okay, I'm feeling good and I'm up the front. Or you just maybe it's damage control and you're just trying to maximize the points for each event. That approach is what we had at Taurean, and his worst finish was a 4th. So it was a lot better. Just seeing his improvement in the gym, it's crazy. He's surpassed what I've done by a long shot.
But I still, I hear you guys saying is 2 things that are, super, super valuable if you're able to do them. And one is that you're able to string together years of consistency, and you see other athletes, and some of them are really good and still have good performances like this, but every other year they're missing, a month to 3 months recovering from some injury. And it's probably from overtraining and just things that stack up over time. And so if you're able to find a balance where you can continuously improve and stay healthy for year after year, those are the type of athletes that are able to make the consistent improvements that Jay is showing that he can do.
Yeah, definitely. I think we obviously need to and will increase the volume for the games, because that's just a different animal. Taurean, there's not much volume at all at semi-final level. Like, the training day is worse than that. Their second day was complex, and then 3 2-minute intervals. So 6 minutes of work, 4 minutes of rest in that workout. And I see these people, what they're eating during those competitions, all this sugar and crap to get through a weekend because they need the carbs and energy. And I'm like, have a look at exactly what you need to get through. You don't need to be consuming that crap. Maybe at the games level we do, but not at that stage. So,
what specifically, Rob? I heard in the great and riveting interview with Alex Tyson, Rob Forte said that he eats baby food. Are you cool with the baby food?
Yeah. Nah, his mom makes it too. Yeah.
It is a good interview, by the way. I'm just busting your balls about the beginning. It is a good interview. I listened to the whole thing. So were you okay with him doing baby food? And then what would be different at the games? And what tell us what this shit is that you saw people eating.
Oh, they're just cereal, just crap like lollies, Gatorade, just sugar.
Yeah.
It's pro-inflammatories, you spike your energy and then it drops down. Like, in my opinion, you don't need to.
When would you use that? Like the last day of the games? When do you use that?
Well, there's a lot more volume, and it is harder to consume, good quality foods to get that much, that amount of calories in that you do need for that volume. But for a semi-final, or what Taurean required of the athletes. You didn't need that. You could just do what you would normally do, normal day, normal training day. And yeah, you're sitting around most of the day waiting. That's why they're getting tired. It's not the actual work itself.
That's the hardest part.
Jay, you know where you're at, right? There's like, I don't know what the benchmarks are, you know, for a professional CrossFitter, but let's say, you know how fast you can run a mile, you know how much you can clean and jerk, you know these metrics, and you have an idea of where the guys who just keep rotating at the podium, you kind of know their metrics too, right? The Fikowskis, the Pat Vellners, the Medeiros, these guys who are at the top. When you and Rob are putting a training plan together, do you ever look at that? Do you ever just like lay out like, okay, here, for instance, let's do a mock look at the 2020 games. And this is what Justin Medeiros did. What can we do to make it so that you can beat him in all of these workouts? Is there ever anything that you do, or is it strictly stay in your own game at all times for your training?
He doesn't need to beat him on every workout. He just needs one more point at the end of the weekend.
Right. But you, I might not be describing it right, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, what part of it is comparing yourself to the other guys? Because it sounds like when I hear Rob talk, like Rob just trusts the process, man. Like that there is just a steady climb, and it's not pushed too hard. Like it sounds like maybe even Rob, I'm reading into it, but his biggest concern is he doesn't want to break you or hurt you or burn you out.
Yeah. No, I do understand what you're saying. Like, definitely running my own race and, you know, doing what works best for me. But I feel like what I learned most last year was that those top guys, they attack every workout, you know, as if they haven't done anything that day. Like I just noticed, like it's almost like they're fresh. They just go in and they send it every workout and do what they got to do. That was the hardest part that I found was, you know, you start feeling sorry for yourself and you're tired. And yeah, so that's what I feel like I'm going to do this year is work on that for sure.
That's the hardest.
What does that look like? What does that look like when you see that they look fresh? What do you mean?
You know, we could be on our like third workout for the day and we got the last one in the Coliseum and I'm just like, you know, I got to go out there.
Oh shit, thrusters and wall walks.
You know, ready to go, and you can see that, and they really want it, and they're very confident in what they're doing. And yeah, I just feel like I didn't show that last year.
Sevan, this is why, and I think this is what Rob is about to say, this is why it's important to have a deep enough test for all the athletes, because it's the thing that's tested at the games that separates the best from the rest, and it's your ability to endure mentally and physically test after test after test, day after day after day. It's not 6 minutes on a Saturday and 8 minutes on a Sunday and 23 minutes on a Friday. All of these guys can do that, and that's why, you know, the preparation has to be different for a semifinal than the games. But the best guys at the games recover better and perform better and they rebound better from bad performances physically or mentally. And
at 23, what Jay is saying is it's more mental than physical for him.
Yeah, I'd argue that it's emotional as well.
Emotional.
Managing your emotions and having someone there to pick you back up when you do have those downs, which he didn't really have that last year. Is kind of on his own and stuck in his own head. So that's the part that a lot of people at home miss or don't see at the games is how hard it is physically and mentally and emotionally. Like it is grueling. It's a tough weekend, and you do have to bring a lot of energy to each effort and each event, and it's easier said than done. But you do need to have, well, unless you've got a lot of experience, you do need to kind of have someone there to tell you what to do in your warm-up, because you don't feel like warming up anymore. You don't feel like going out there anymore. And it's having someone there to fire you up and get you back into the game and ready for each and every event. So that's an aspect or part that a lot of people don't see from watching it at home.
And yeah, an example of that last year is, you know, I think it's like the 500-meter sprint or something. I did terrible and went in after that, and I was like, you know, fuck this, I'm over CrossFit.
Wow.
Doing it. And then the next workout was the thruster wall walk, and that was like in the Coliseum. I was like in lining up, ready to go out. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, what am I doing? And then I go out there, do my thing as my best finish of the weekend. You finish and you go back in. You're like, okay, that's why I do this. This is,
He's like, cool. I'm back. I love CrossFit. That's what I mean. It's so up and down, like emotionally, just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
It's like golf is like that. You have like 7 bad holes. All of a sudden you make a birdie. You're like, the best sport ever.
I think I saw twice Tia implement this past weekend. For example, the rope climb, and there was one other one where Brooke got stuck on the ropes, and when she crossed the finish line, Tia didn't even give Brooke a second to like mope. Like she just grabbed her and hugged her and had a big smile waiting for her, and the camera's catching that, and no sign that I'm going to reflect or mirror any of your drama. This isn't the time or the place. I thought, wow, that's some world-class, like, excuse me, Rob, emotional support, just grabbed her.
Yeah, that stuff's really important. And that's what I try to do, conscious effort to do that throughout a weekend when I'm coaching. It's like when it's time to just chill and, we sit down and recover between events, it's lighthearted, having general conversations. We're not talking about the workouts, just give him a chance to actually chill out and not be switched on all the time. And then when it's time to focus and, go out and perform, we're talking about the workouts, we're getting super focused, we're getting fired up. I'll tell him specifically, this workout, you can get fired up, you can have a bit of adrenaline. This workout, we need a calm approach. We're going to go out, be a little bit more methodical. Just managing your energy and managing how you actually go out on the floor. That's just definitely a conscious thing that I'm doing for him. And you see it paying off. Like I see other athletes just going out there with super high adrenaline, super fired up, and it's a 20-minute workout. I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to burn out in 2 seconds. And that's exactly what happens. You can just see it by how they're carrying themselves or the energy that they're carrying.
You said that that's one of the things you've been working on is throttling back, not coming out hot. What does that look like? And do you ever feel, is that 2 minutes in and there's 4 guys ahead of you, do you start to panic ever? Like, oh shit, they're getting ahead of me. They're picking up the kettlebells. I'm still on the pull-up bar.
Yeah, yes and no. Like, again, it depends on the workout, but I feel an example of that in the first workout at Taurean was, the King Arthur. It was like you go out, muscle up, run, come back and do it the other way. And that's exactly what happened. Like a few guys went away from me, and I knew that it wasn't one in that first part. So it definitely depends on the workout.
Jay does have good situational awareness. So he can see what the other athletes are doing, and we'll be able to pick up on where he can improve during a workout or during an event and make those tweaks. Because that's something we always work on in training, that being focused on what you're doing, but also picking up on what other athletes are doing so you can make improvements during an event. Like you might transition slow on something or see someone's, finishing a rep ahead of you each round. You're like, why are they finishing a rep ahead? I need to speed up a little bit. So having that situational awareness is also important. So there's workouts where you kind of need to block all that stuff out and do you, but most of them at their level where it's not the limiting factor is not muscular endurance, they can kind of pick up on little areas or where they can improve. So he does have that, and he does do it, even though he probably doesn't think he does, but he does.
The crowd at Taurean, nuts, right?
Crazy.
It was a cool event. Yeah.
Triple decker, all filled.
Yeah. Flames,
confetti.
all the shit. It was really cool.
The commentating was great. Got Pit Malone. I don't know who the dude was, but when we watched from home, it was great.
Jeremy Austin, or rookie. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. They were smooth.
Yeah.
They felt like you felt like you were in the living room with your friends. It was great to watch. I could only imagine. Was it deafening in there, like when they would scream, like the games?
It was definitely loud. That's for sure.
Like the 1 year I was at Madison or 2 years, I can't remember, but I was inside that Coliseum, and at some points it would get so loud, like it hurt. It hurt.
Yeah, I think
You're just sensitive.
I'm just old.
5,000 people.
There were 5,000 people in there.
Yeah,
5 or 6,000, something like that. Yeah.
In that interview with Alex, you said that you give a lot of that credit to Tia. I didn't even think of that. Is that what's going on there? Is there some great Australian hype around her? I mean, there should be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like she's this like superstar, I suppose, in the CrossFit space now. But yeah, definitely that was a big factor, and I think that all the COVID restrictions here are all eased now, so people aren't scared to travel, and yeah, it was crazy.
Well, in terms of that crowd, during the last heat in the women's event on that interval one, there was an air horn that needed to go off. You couldn't hear the air horn. In the first round, there was women still going after the round had finished because the judges didn't hear it, the athletes didn't hear it.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was really loud.
I love it. That's a good kind of error. I like those kind of errors. That's awesome. Do you think that gives you an advantage at the games? Was there anything that you needed to do to adapt to that, to all of that noise, all of that crowd, or can any athlete just be like start feeding off of that? Is it easy?
Yeah, I think everyone definitely feeds off it.
That's so same as what I was talking about before. Or some events, I'm like, take it all in, use the energy from the crowd, especially for that complex. Like if you need it, get the crowd to G you up and hit that first lift, because they warm up, they stand around for 15, 20 minutes. Then they got to go out and they've only got 3 attempts. So to get the crowd behind you to G you up makes the weight feel a lot lighter. So you definitely use it when you can.
Rob, do you believe in Jay more than ever? Can you see him winning the CrossFit Games one year?
Yeah, I definitely think he has all the physical tools and the mental tools to do it. There's no reason why he couldn't. He's got, he's really good at sprinting, lifting, all those things, and he's also really good at the endurance side of things. For me personally, it was just longer stuff, and I had to work super hard on the other end. I find it's rare to find athletes with both ends of that spectrum, and it's just going to take a little bit more, experience and a little bit more hunger, a little bit more belief, because then that will carry over into that next training season. Because it's the training that does it. It's not showing up on the weekend and doing it. It's, the things I'm telling him, you kind of need to experience it for it to fully sink in on how to do things or why you should be doing certain things in training. Like, they're just words sometimes to the athlete. When they make that mistake and actually experience it, then it actually sinks in, and then they're motivated to make those changes and do it. So a little bit more lessons, a bit more experience. Yeah, he'll definitely be shaking up towards the top.
We talked about this before. That first Instagram post on your Instagram account, Mr. J Crouch, is with you and Rob Forte and Chad McKay. It's a great picture. It's cool. And I'm guessing at some point you had the dream to go to the CrossFit Games, and I'm guessing it didn't take long for that dream to get replaced with winning them. Is that true?
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's what do your parents say now that what kind of feedback are you getting from your friends and family after winning the Taurean?
Yeah, my family loves it. They've been doing it pretty much the whole time that I have as well. So they feed off it. They love it. They want to know everything that's going on, and very, very supportive.
Is it a different feeling or confidence or anything? Last year you were within 1 point of winning, and it's like, whatever. I made the games. I was right there with the best guys. This year you won it. You beat every single guy. How much of an effect does that have on the next 6 weeks leading into the big show?
Yeah. Oh no, it was awesome to win it after last year losing by 1 point. And yeah, it does give me heaps of confidence. Like I was saying to Rob after, like, I feel like, I'm getting at that point now that, that next step, like that next level. So yeah, the confidence that in my training as well is it's going to be a big thing, and I'm just excited, and I'm excited to have Rob by my side this year and put all the pieces of the puzzle together and get a good finish.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I think it's a pretty valuable resource to have someone like that. I've been doing a little bit of tracking some athletes this year, Rob, because a lot of the athletes that you kind of came up in the sport with in the early 2010 to 15 range, a lot of them have like retired or semi-retired this year. But a lot of them are also still really good, and they've managed to put together, whether it's in the elite division or some of them in the masters division now, a decade of pretty consistent fitness. And, your fitness doesn't seem to have dipped off too much, even though some of your focuses have. And I just don't think that many, young athletes have access to someone with this experience you have in terms of doing that over a long period of time.
Yeah, and I keep a close eye on what the current athletes are doing as well, and can kind of pick up on little finer details just from doing it for so long. There's a lot of things that people would miss that, I can kind of pick up on and carry, or just talk about with Jay and trying to get him squared away on some ideas. But yeah, I'm still training as normal, but a little less volume nowadays. Just workload is a lot higher, so don't have as much time to dedicate towards training. But I still think it's important for me. I'm a competitive person. I kind of need that competitive outlet, whether it's just day-to-day training. Still do the Open every quarterfinals. But then that's it. Like the quarterfinals for me is normally my CrossFit Games. And the age group, I wasn't really interested in doing it. There was an opportunity to go away for a weekend, so I did that instead.
I love it. A little balance.
Yeah. Jay, is it? Last time I talked to you that you and Ricky hadn't spoken much. You guys weren't friends. Did that change over the weekend at all?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear that. Tell me about that, because here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's good. It's good to have a homeboy like that, like someone who there's a lot of energy around him. He's fierce. He's not fucking around. I just think it's good. I think that you guys could get some good synergy. And Baden Brown's a good dude too. It seems like it's like a almost like a senior. You know what I mean? Like a guy who's got kids and who could help everyone keep their head on straight. But can you tell me about your relationship with Ricky? Like how it developed over the weekend?
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like, nothing against him at all. I didn't do anything to me. So, yeah, it was awesome to hang out with them boys. Like all the Aussie boys are awesome. Like everyone's good mates. So we get along with everyone. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see how he went about it, and him and his brother seem like they got a good thing going. So.
And you competed with Benny, right, Rob?
Yeah, I competed with both of them over the years. Like, I think Ricky did the 2016 and 17 regionals, and obviously the 17 games. So, and then Ben was a few years during those few years as well, like a little bit early on, I think 14, 15, 16, thereabouts. So yeah, I've competed with both of them. We've gone on Reebok sites together, so I know them a lot better than Jay. Jay actually hadn't met either of them in person. But yeah, like Jay said, everyone's pretty cool. Warm-up areas, it's a bit of shit talking, bit of banter going around. Like, everyone wasn't taking it too seriously, which that's what I purposely said to him. Let's not have that serious approach, because you just, if you get too competitive in that setting, just in the warm-up area, you're kind of just wasting your energy. And I said it's actually going to fuel athletes. So we don't want to fuel athletes. We don't want to give them motivation to beat you. Just go and do that out on the floor.
Is there going back to making a plan? Is there a plan? Like this year make the podium, or this year get top 10, or this year get top 15, or is it? And why make those plans? Why not just always just do the best you can? What are your thoughts going into the CrossFit Games, going to Madison this year?
Yeah, like I feel like there's always a number that you want in the back of your mind. But yeah, again, like just going off Taurean, we just need to take it one event at a time. run our own race, come up with our own plans, and then I suppose you are where you are at the end of the weekend. But yeah,
you can have these numbers and stuff in your head or whatever, but you literally cannot control what the other competitors do. So you don't. It's something you're focusing on that you have no control over, except for your effort, your preparation, what you do, how you execute, all of those things. That's the main focus. It's not. I do keep an eye out on what other guys are doing, and I was especially doing that for Maddie and the other girls because I knew the girls she needed to beat, and I knew, I guess, their strengths and their weaknesses, her strengths and her weaknesses compared to those. So I know, like, going into Taurean, we can be a little bit more strategic because of who she's competing against or who she's fighting against for the top spot. So we can tweak her training accordingly to bridge that gap between her strengths, their strengths and her weaknesses, and vice versa. Try and increase her strengths compared to one of their weaknesses, and nearly paid off. But at the games, everyone's pretty good at everything, and it's a little bit harder to do that. But yeah, we can chase numbers, knowing what the top guys are doing, and try and do that in the training as well.
I would think being in the Taurean Pro, that as a woman, just the headspace you need. I mean, it's just brutal, right? Tia's there. It's like shit. Jamie Simmons is there. Ellie's there. And Maddie's been to the game 4 times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Would you say that what is her mindset like going in there? Does she know? Does she really want to win? Does she believe she can win? She can beat these girls? I mean, her stature is small, right? She's smaller than these ladies.
Yeah, she's small. Her going in, she was not sure, which I think was almost better for her. Like, she kind of took the pressure off because she wasn't expecting to do super well. I know for sure she did a lot better than she expected. So she didn't go in there expecting to win. She didn't really, I don't think she expected to be as close as she was. But she was
kind of the only thing that kept the females interesting, to be honest. She was the only, I mean, she was the, for me,
Jamie was in 3rd place for a while.
Yeah, they kept swapping spots, like Ali, Jamie, Maddie, and I think Bailey Rogers as well. So there was a few of them swapping around, which made that 3rd spot interesting. Obviously, Tia and Cara are both hard to beat, so it was between those girls who's going to get that 3rd spot. And after every event, I'm like, Maddie, you deserve to be there. You're still there. You're still in the fight. Every event, I'd say, look, end of day 2, you're still there. You deserve to be there. Like, just kept reinforcing that. I think after Taurean, that's going to be like motivate her a little bit more in her training, get that belief and work a little bit harder. Do the things that she needs to do, be motivated to do that stuff. And also, does Rob have a neck? Yes, it's here.
No, don't listen to him. Rob doesn't know what a neck is. He hasn't seen his neck since he's been 14. Thank you for asking.
A pretty big trap.
One piece of mass.
I lost my train of thought.
Well, we're talking about Maddie and whether and how hard it is to be in that region. What about you, Jay? Is it hard going home? Like, what's the emotion like? You made it, and are you like, hey, don't come home tonight, or are you more thoughtful and caring than that?
It's I suppose we just both support each other, which is really good, and we sort of put that aside, and I sort of let Rob fill that role. Obviously, like, it's not for me to say after, like a debrief, all that sort of stuff. So I feel like we're really good at just sort of separating that.
Yeah, I ask Jay some questions sometimes about Maddie's training, but he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you guys live together, Jay? You and Maddie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense. Are you guys on the same training schedule?
Yeah.
See, there's the poll. Does Rob have a neck? Look at the votes pouring in. Please vote now. Don't try to like be nice. Just be honest. Honest. Everyone wants honesty.
But Sevan, it's kind of crazy. This is the third time that either someone who's done really, really well at their semifinal has had a brother or a significant other that's been in the next spot out. It happened to Jukic brothers. It happened to obviously Jay and Maddie, and then it just happened this past weekend with Bailey Rail and Tyler Christoffel.
Oh yeah.
And it's just one of those things where you're like so happy because you've seen the year's work pay off, and at the same time you're heartbroken for the person that you love that's just barely missed out.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see what happened to Tyler Christoffel, Jay?
Yeah, I did. I was.
Well, it's basically what happened to Matt McLeod on Strongman's Diane. It was just that this timing of when it happened is the worst possible time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he had like a fail. It was a fucking just fucking nosedived into the ground and imploded. I mean, I think he dropped the bar at least twice, right? And the last time was just a mental error. What's an athlete thinking when that happens? Does any part of you just want to run out of the stadium?
Yeah.
Like climb into bed and pull the covers over your head?
We spoke about this yesterday. It's like almost I feel like you're so close, and it just probably turns into panic, and you stop thinking. You know.
I've had it happen to me at regionals before.
Did it happen to you or something like that, Rob? Like a horror movie like that?
I was in first from day one all the way through until the final event. I think it was 2015. And it was 18 or maybe 15 ring muscle ups. And then it was a squat clean ladder, like the weights increased over 5 bars. I got a no rep on my muscle ups, freaked out. Well, I didn't really freak out. I just got pissed off at the judge. Little argument. Jumped back up, did my last rep. I should have just stayed up there and kept going. Tried to rush through the bars, got spat out the back of the second bar. And then that's when I told myself, settle the fuck down and just finish the event. Where I got caught up in the hype of, Ben and Khan and all those guys. There was a few of them, I think Kev Manuel, they all needed to literally win that event to qualify for the games. And I could see them all getting G'd up when we were all lined up. And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, I got caught up in it too, but I didn't need to do that. And I came second. Khan did really well in that workout. I got like 26th or something. Just shit the bed. And I got second overall. And I hated that second place medal. And for 2 weeks, I was playing that workout through my head, just so pissed off with myself, getting caught up.
But this is where like the genius of programming comes in, because you can look at least 3 final workouts so far this year, and I might be forgetting some of them, but you have the squat snatches at the end of the syndicate workout, and some of those guys you could tell like they should hit that weight routinely, but it was just
nice, Caleb.
But it demands a lot of execution at the end of the workout. You had the overhead squats in the lowlands, and you saw some guys, like the guys that made it to the games were the guys that composed themselves and hit a set of 10. And the guys that missed out were the guys that panicked or didn't have the ability to do it at the end of the weekend. And then the overhead lunge, another very demanding position. And what I just think about is the difference between the guys that just missed it. And then I watched Jason Hopper, another young guy. And it wasn't until he hit his last squat snatch, stood it up, looked at his judge, confirmed that it was a good rep, that he smiled. He dropped the bar and he knew that the job was done.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, there's people in positions where they need to risk it all. And then there's, if you're towards the top with a bit of a buffer, you don't need to get caught up in that. But you still need to go. Otherwise there's that fine balance, because that's why the previous years I kind of cruised through the previous year. I remember it was me and Brandon really close. And I kind of cruised through the last event, and he nearly beat me. So then this next year I had the opposite approach. Like, I'm going to go out hot, and then it turned out a lot worse. And then the third year I learned my lesson and kind of found that middle ground. So yeah, I think little things like that through my experience I can pass on to him and keep him a little bit more cool-headed and focused. Like, I'd say that last event at Taurean was similar. Like, if you're in a bit of a panic and trip up on your double unders, that's it. You're pretty much done, because it was a 1K row, 100 double unders, 10 deadlifts. There's no real room for error. Everyone's going to come off the row similar. If you trip on those double unders, lose a bit of focus, you're going to lose positions. I think Royce tripped 2 or 3 times on his double unders on that event. That was his worst finish.
You finished in Australia, Jay. You finished last year. You won the Open.
Yeah, last year won the Open and the quarters, and then lost by 1 point.
He was calling he was going to do the
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Oh,
Did not
no,
play.
sorry. You won in 2022. Is that what you're saying?
No, we talked about this year. Oh, this year I won the Open and I come second in quarters.
Oh, okay. Okay.
1 point as well. Yeah.
1 point to Ricky, and then first.
Is that important to you to win the Open?
No, but I just put my best effort into every workout that I do.
We were doing it. We do a full week of training, and he was doing it on Friday. So it was with it get released midday here, and we do it Friday evening with the rest of the gym. So it wasn't like we're prioritizing it, but yeah, he just kills that stuff. Like, does really well in those open style workouts. In an AMRAP, 20-minute, 15-minute AMRAP could just go all day. That work capacity is really good, especially when it's basic stuff. It's got that ability to just start fast and hold it the whole time.
Who's your fit? Do you have any other dudes who are like your main training partners?
There's we got the affiliate team. They're all pretty good.
They any good? They going to the games?
No.
That doesn't mean they're not good.
Come on, they
the
suck.
Teams, no, the top teams over there are actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, it's more just having the people who are keen to do all the work with me, and that are a good vibe. But it's mainly Rob.
It's kind of like you and Maddie versus Justin and Ellie.
Yeah, it's looking like that, isn't it? I was trying to.
How rumors start.
They're out a little bit.
Hey, did that guy who's in the room with you when we started the show, did he ask what's he yelling about? Like I was yelling?
I don't know. He was just laughing at your comparison then.
Oh, good. All right. I was trying to let that slide, but it just keeps popping up in my head that he thinks I'm yelling. Fucking start yelling. I am not on TRT. I'm not on TRT. No, but we're gonna have a ton of guests who are. Oh my God, I have some exciting stuff to tell you guys. When Alex Tyson, is that his name, from the Find Space podcast?
Yeah,
Found space.
Finding Space. Caleb, pull it up. It's Finding Space. I'm gonna put $5 against Rob and Jay that it's Finding Space.
Found Space is the company, but I think it's probably called Finding Space.
The podcast. Okay. And he says to you, how's the camaraderie with the men? No, he says, how's the camaraderie at the how's the
Can we do that again?
we're both right. He says, how's the camaraderie?
Aye.
And you say, with the men, it's great.
Yeah.
I get a little light bulb in my head. How about with the women?
The women.
How is it with the women?
Yeah.
It's great.
Like it's good as well.
Hey, it's like that at the games too.
Yeah.
It's like, do the men even know that? Like when you guys are all corralled and you're looking at the women, are you laughing at them? Like, God, you catty bitches. Damn. Can't you guys just get along?
Yeah.
It's definitely quieter in the warm-up area.
With
But
the women.
Right, with the women. It was still pretty. It was fine. There was no bitchiness. I didn't see any that Taurean comparison to women and men. Just the guys were just, there's more banter and joking around and stuff. There's a bit more of that.
A lot of shit talking.
Like Newbury had his crop top on in the warm-up area, and his coach comes up to me and goes, Go up to Newbury and tell him what the fuck are you wearing. I just want to see his reaction. I'm like, okay, I'll go and do it.
Yeah.
I noticed the crop top. Is he
after-
going there to win?
No. He hardly trained. He said he was scared of some of the workouts, how sore he was going to be the next day. I was chatting to him. He did really well.
Yeah,
The first one,
well.
he's like, I'm just going to pace the shit out of it, and he actually did pretty well in the workouts. But you could tell in some of the events the lack of training. It sort of showed through.
He did a triathlon or something, right? Recently.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of triathlon training, but I know he's focused a lot on the business side of things and trying to put training off to the side a little bit.
Have you guys met Rob Whitaker?
Yes.
You did. Oh, I
Yes.
asked you that, Jay, last time. Wow, you could be like his stunt double almost. Rob.
Oh, Rob.
Yeah. Where'd you meet him?
So he was a Reebok athlete. So we went to Reebok Summit in Bali together, and we did a couple of things at some fitness shows. Yeah, he's a cool dude. I remember him saying he loves to just sit in his hotel room, play video games when he's not training. Like, yeah, he's a good dude. He's a fun dude. I thought it was interesting. He was like scared of weird stuff, like things in the dark, and I don't know. He said a couple of remarks. I'm like, you're one of the best fighters in the world, baddest dudes, and you're scared of that shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
he might be. I mean, if Israel wasn't around, he might be the greatest 185-pound fighter. It's really a shame because what he did to Yoel Romero, no other man not even Israel was going to do that. No one's was ever going to do that. Don't you agree?
100%. He's so good to watch. I've watched him fight in person a couple of times, and it's just his intensity. It's really entertaining, good to watch. First one, I was in Melbourne. It was the Ronda Rousey fight where she got knocked out. The crowd was just crazy. I think I think it was over 50,000 people or something like that. And his foot stomps and just his intensity during that fight, it was really good to watch. That's what made me a fan of him from day one. Just every fight's awesome to watch. He's always working hard and his intensity is really high.
His video game shit is weird. Whenever you see him on those behind the scenes, he's always playing video games. I'm always like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Brian? Sorry.
Oh, not about that.
Not about Rob Whitaker. And how about Volkanovski? Have you met him?
No, we've hung out with Jimmy Crute.
Oh yeah.
And with the Reebok summits. He's really cool too.
We had a wrestle with him too.
Yeah.
It was 3-on-1.
Wrestling him on the beach.
It was me, Jay, and Zeke versus Jimmy.
I was too scared. I just kept running.
Yeah,
away.
that's smart. Don't mess around with that dude.
Took him down once.
Did you wrestle in high school, Rob?
No, I wrestled in my lounge room with my brother and my mom, my dad, whatever I could get my hands on, really.
Jay, when you text me, what were you thinking?
Just
drunk or what? You just think you're drunk? Text me.
No, Rob messaged me as well. He's like, we should go have a good chat with Sevan,
Awesome.
So it made it happen.
I'm trying to be on my best behavior. I watched a little bit of the last podcast that you were on, and I was quite cantankerous. I was like, okay, I need to chill out this time.
You went off on some tangents that time.
I did. I'm trying to be really good to my my brethren in Australia, and I'm excited to see you compete. I think you are. I think you're a much needed prospect coming out of Australia. How is your health?
Yeah, no, pretty well.
You've been doing this since you've been 13.
I got little niggles on my elbow and stuff, but we'll be good to go.
Just like tennis elbow, that kind of stuff, or like something serious, like it's gonna snap backwards like Brooks.
No, nothing.
Probably playing too much disc golf.
Do you do disc golf, Jay?
No, it looks pretty fun now. I've seen a video you put up the other day, Brian. It looked good. I'll come play some disc golf with you when I come over.
Has it got anything to do with normal golf?
Oh, I'm terrible at normal golf. No, it's like frisbee, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
We're not allowed to say that word, by the way, in the United States.
Oh, and yeah, that's just like another word for like a small little injury.
We have rules. We're burning books in my country. Hey, if we go to the leaderboard for this 22 CrossFit Games, has it populated yet? No, you can't even choose it. Oh, maybe you can.
I think there was one.
Oh yeah, okay. Here it's okay, it is populating. Wow. Brian, have you had a chance to look? Do you think Jay Crouch will be in the top 20 this year at the end of the week?
I do.
Do you think he'll be in the top?
That's only a question I'm going to answer.
15. Damn, I want to take that one back. Do you think he'll be in the top 15?
Let's see. I mean, I'll put my rankings out 1 through 40 once the field is set, and a day or two before the games, and we'll do a show on it, I'm sure. But go ahead.
No, well, I'm just looking, like, as I look at this, I see the other young guns who are coming. Like what did you think of this Tudor Magda kid, Jay?
Yeah, impressive as well. He's pretty
savage,
strong.
right?
There's a ton. Look, the games field is going to be brutal. It always is. It's full of good guys, but you see a lot of people that you think are good, and they're finishing 25 and below because there's all these intangible things that Rob and Jay have been talking about throughout the show that you can't, like, it's very, very rare to find someone who gets there year 1 or even year 2 and is able to manage the stress, the emotions, the different times that you have to work out, the recovery between them, the unfortunate things that happen. There's tons of little things like that. The preparation before it, how early do you get there? Where are you staying? Are you eating correctly? And you learn those things over time. Jay's has an advantage in this sense that he's been doing it for a while already at a fairly young age. And like we talked about, he has someone like Rob in his corner, which is a huge advantage.
Huge. Do you think he's going to finish higher than Jason Hopper?
Rob, something I've been wondering about, and actually either of you guys can answer this question. How big of an advantage do you think it is to go in week 1 for the semifinals?
Big advantage. Yeah, it's a pretty decent advantage because you can have that week off, get stuck into games training a little bit earlier. And for us, just sorting accommodation, flights, all of those things, it makes it easier as well. Because the later we leave it, the less availability there is, and more the cost of it goes up as well. I looked at flights coming out. We booked accommodation together and looked at flights. The internal flight from LA to Madison was more expensive than from Melbourne to LA, or from Australia to LA and back. So just sorting out all those things, the financial side and squaring all that stuff away, it makes it easier to have that time and maybe do a fundraising event or things like that. In terms of the actual physical side, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't really think too much about that stuff personally.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of an unfair question because I could have just asked if it was an advantage or not. Some people might say that, if you have too long of a period of time to prepare for the games, that you could overdo it.
Yeah. I think I said to him, we'll just get back into a structure after a week and kind of, just business as usual, not build it up too much as this great thing. Or again, we don't want to break him before we even get there. We can slowly increase the volume over that period of time. So I guess having more time to do that is an advantage. And I guess the athletes in the LCQ, for Maddie, it's an advantage because she has a little bit more time to get back into training and prepare. Those in week 4 do not have to turn it around pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's just, and it's one thing, you guys are in a continent where there's only one semifinal, but I look at Europe and it's a 50-50 draw. You either get week 1 or week 4. That's a huge difference.
Yeah. I actually thought it would be week 2 because last year, week 1, but week 1 again. I thought it would rotate to be fair, but it didn't rotate.
Let me tell you some of the people you're going to beat. You're going to beat Will Morad, Cole Grieshaber, Moritz Fabig, Oldest Ubanix, Enrico Zanoni. Sorry, Baden Brown, Cole Sager, Keelan Henry, Spencer Panchik. So that's eight dudes right there that are on the list. So and we don't even have all the dudes on here. Sorry, guys.
Nah.
Sorry, guys. If I said your name, I'm sorry. You can come over to my house for dinner.
Yeah, we're just looking at that list before.
How did Will Morad get in there? Isn't he a senior citizen? Oh no, he's only 33. Holy cow, Will. Who's the next guy coming up? Are there any other dudes in Australia where you're like, oh, this is the next guy? Oh, here we go. Look, we got another poll thanks to Caleb. Does Jay Crouch beat Jason Hopper? 74%. Yeah. And you're in Hopper country. You're in Hopper country. This is blasphemy. You're in Hopper country. Let's put up a Colton Mertens. Who wins, Colton Mertens or Jay Crouch? God, I hope Colton goes to the game.
Jay, you got no chance. Everyone in this chat loves Colton Mertens.
Yeah, up and coming kids. You know, you got Bailey Martin. He had a real good showing. I think the last day just didn't really go his way. Yeah, but he was definitely a standout this year.
I'm going over there and looking. Okay, so there's a lot of good guys. Is CrossFit still growing in Australia? You think we're going to see stronger and stronger guys and girls coming out of there?
Yeah. There's definitely that younger field, like you guys said. It's almost here for sure.
You can tell that everyone is excited about the competitions again and coming out of COVID lockdowns, all of that. The vibe and the after Taurean, there's another event that's just come out back, which is Down Under CrossFit Championships. Everyone's excited to be doing that. I think the competition scene has got back to where it was pre-COVID, and everyone's excited. So I think just that alone, you'll see more and more young athletes hungry to be on those stages at Taurean and Down Under and those sorts of events.
How did you survive? How did your affiliate survive, Rob? 2 years of that.
Just hiring out equipment and doing online stuff as best as we could. That was the main thing. The hard part was just keeping people motivated and keeping those numbers enough to keep our staff employed too. Like it was really hard. Last year was the hardest because there was less support from the government and in the way of grants and stuff like that. But we got through. Like when
scary.
it was scary when it first came out. That's when all this CrossFit training and what I've done at the games has helped me. CrossFit does prepare you for life. There's that worry, there's that doubt, which always shows up, but it's another challenge. I'll just take it as it comes. That was my approach. It's it is scary. It's unknown. Don't know what's coming, but I'm confident I can handle whatever comes my way. And that was kind of my approach. Just take it day by day, week by week, and be resourceful, do the best I can to, serve our member base and not just give up on them because I know they needed it as well. But it was definitely hard. Did learn a lot. All that emotional side that I was talking about, I learned a lot through COVID and it definitely helps with me helping an athlete like Jay because there's worry, there's doubt, there's all that crap that you make up in your own head that gets in the way. We're getting in our own way a lot of the time, and there was a lot of that for everybody through that period. So
how about having an athlete like Jay in your gym? Is that a blessing or is it a curse? Does it take away from your ability to work with the affiliate, work with the layman, the common man, someone like Wiki?
It's good. Everyone gets excited about that.
So it's good. It invigorates the good group.
With people he trains in the class with people. It's something people probably don't know about how we run it. He's doing the same similar stuff to what everybody else is doing. So he jumps into the 410 class every day, and he's training alongside our gym members. And then we've got another space next door where he does the rest of his training. But part A and B is done with everybody else inside of the gym. And then the rest of his training is done with a smaller group of athletes, like he said, our affiliate team. I haven't been able to jump into that stuff as much, but Maddie's in there. And, you know, he's part of the gym, part of the community. So is Maddie, and we're trying to encourage them to be involved as well, as much as possible. It is hard sometimes when you're super focused on what you're doing, and it can kind of come across like a little bit of arrogance, or, you know, they're not taking other people into consideration. But
like when you walk in the gym with your J First shirt, it's a little weird.
So there's that part, and I understand people will take it that way, but that's just part of it. Like, I'm not going to push them out because of it. You know, you're always going to have people, you know, perceiving things in a certain way or complaining about something. Like, you can't do anything about that.
It's not all peace and love in Australia like it is. What? Okay. This interview's over. What the fuck dare you guys? Get the fuck out of here. My show. Doctor up those numbers, Caleb. Doctor. Jay, does any part of you have like feel like you're missing out when you see these athletes traveling around the United States? You know, you see they go to the Froning camp, someone dips in and trains with Adam and Justin, then they go up and see Matt, or they're down. You got this crew, Matt Torres down in Florida, and just James Sprague looks so fun to train with, and you're with Mr. Personality here, Rob Forte. Is any part of you ever just like, oh shit, how come I can't, like, why does my country have to be like an island over here? And do you have any plans? Do you have any plans to come and do any of that? Rent a VW bus and tour the gyms in the country? Or is it like, fuck you, look it, we got Cara and Tia, eat a dick?
Yeah. No, like, the training side of things, definitely not a problem at all. You know, it's been pretty dialed in since I first joined up here. But I'd say obviously the opportunity with sponsors, all that sort of side of thing is a big difference. And I suppose if the opportunity come up, you know, maybe look at that in the future.
You're not curious, like, just what's going on in that barn at Mayhem? Like, you and Rob just want to go over there maybe for a week or two, see, like.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to do something that would be open to do for sure.
But you're not jonesing for it. If you love where you're at, you're getting it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Has anyone from the States come and trained with you? Has anyone from around the world come and train with you? Not even just the States. People.
Yeah, Fikowski's been here. Who else is that?
Yeah, I think so. Castro's been in my gym.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's not an athlete, but
I wonder if that's gonna. I wonder if that's gonna happen more and more. I mean, it really is far. We're really far from you.
Yeah.
Or you're really far from us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to the last show, and Brian was talking on the show about all the clean air you have there versus here. So shit, maybe you have an advantage there.
Well, yeah, it's just turned winter, so you might not want to come here at this time of year.
That's the best part about going to the games. You miss out on a few weeks of winter back at home, get some summer.
Will it change your plans if you win versus if you don't win? I mean, depending on when or depending on how well you do, how long you stay in the States, or is it like finish the games and go home? Or do you stick around?
The plan is, finish and come home. And I mean, I'd like to stay longer, but we'll see.
UFC 275. My buddy Jack Della Maddalena is fighting. Have you guys met him yet?
No.
You know who he is, though, right? He's one of you.
Yeah.
He's one of you. Oh, I'm so excited. He's been on the show a couple times. I can't wait to see him fight. That's on June 11th, 7 p.m. Say that again?
Israel Adesanya's card?
No. You know what's funny is I did think that was Israel's card, but it's not. It's Glover and Yuri Projatska.
Okay.
Who do you think is going to win that? You think? I mean, Yuri's a freak.
Yeah, I think Yuri's gonna be pretty impressive that one.
He better hope it doesn't go to the ground.
Yeah, that's true. But he's just, the stand-up's crazy.
Yeah, the stand-up is crazy. Well, thank you for coming on. I think we did a pretty good job. Brian, is there anything you'd like to finish with? Tell us what place he's going to take at the games.
Not yet. I'll wait to see the rest of the field rounded out. But it's super fun watching you compete out there. I think just in general, the fitness level in Australia and New Zealand is very high and very competitive. And to continuously come through out of that region is nothing to scoff at. And I think you're on track to have pretty good games this year, hopefully. So I'm excited to see what you can do.
Top 15, that's what I heard. Is that what you said, Brian? I'm sorry.
Top 10. Are you doing your show live at Madison, Sevan?
I have no idea. Everything is just kind of like
Madison backdrops look good on you.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, thank you. I don't think I think maybe I'll just sit here in my little office. But who knows?
Little office. 6 months ago, you're calling it a palatial estate.
It is. I'm trying to be humble. I'm turned a new leaf.
Okay.
Thanks guys for coming on, Mr. C Beaver. Thank you, Brian. You the man.
Welcome,
Thanks.